number of sponsors, such as Staff Chef, who help us to minimize risk when it comes to your applicants. They help with background checks and everything. We also have Excel management and outsourcing, who are the ones organizing the whole event. They are here too. And I would like to introduce our very first speaker. Our first speaker is the Executive Director and Group CEO and Chairman of Governing Council of Quality Group. He is a reputable person who have been a speaker at international forums on marketing and branding. He is also a writer and has been named as an excellent leader and best CEO in the Retail Chain Award Shopping Festival. So help me to welcome Mr. Arif Sheikh. There's quite a lot. You're welcome. Another round of applause for him, please. There's also a short video to do a proper introduction for him.
Good evening. When we talk about personal branding, I thought I'll start with the video because it's a branding and it's a personal. Okay, and I actually whatever they say, don't believe on that because I don't think I deserve whatever they mentioned. My team has prepared this video. The most important part, I don't know about theory. Okay, I only know the practical part of. I'm more a practitioner than academic. When they talk about branding, I just want to understand one thing. I think you've seen this mineral water in the water, right? Most of you, Limazzaro. May I know what's the price of this bottle in the market? Anyone? How much we buy for it? Yes? 600. 500. Okay. If I remove this wrapper, and give you the same water bottle without you knowing that it's a Limazzaro, how much you pay for it?
200.
You pay 200? If you don't know it's Kilimanjaro.
You won't buy it.
Anyone?
The name won't buy it.
What are you buying? You want to drink the wrapper or you want to drink the water?
Water brings credibility. It doesn't have, then you don't know what it is.
That's what a branding, my dear friend. Okay. Now the issue is that most of the time I've seen, we have 3,000 people working for us in 32 countries. We have 102 companies. Many a time the marketing people come to me and say that I need a budget of $100,000 to spend on advertising. Okay. We say yes, it goes to a finance department. Finance asks, okay, what you're going to give me back? You said that I'm going to give back 2.5 times, 3 times, 4 times the money what you're going to invest in the advertising. And normally the finance guys say yes. The same marketing guy goes to the finance and say, I want to go for branding. And he said, what is the branding? Okay, I need 100,000. And they said, what you're going to give me back? He said, I don't know. Now, if it's the same situation, if you don't understand the difference between the advertising and the branding, it's a major issue. And we interview, like if we have 3,000 people, we keep interviewing almost 200 people every month across the 32 countries. And every time when the question comes by HR to the marketing professionals from the best institute, they ask difference between advertising and branding. And believe me, the people from the best institute struggle to explain what branding is. Now, I have no problem, I have no quarrel with the people who have come from the arts or science background and they are not able to explain. But I find it difficult to understand when the people come from the best of management institutes and they talk for half an hour explaining what is the branding and they can't actually explain what the branding is all about. And my issues with them, because they call themselves professional. And my definition of professional is the person who knows his or her job better than others in the same field, isn't it? So when any professional talk about branding, we expect them to explain us in the layman terms what branding is all about. And again, organization fail. This year we have reported 320% growth. Everyone in Tanzania talking about that economy is bad, this and that. We have reported one of the highest profitability balance sheet this year in last 28 years. And today morning I had a banker, chairman of the bank and all people sitting, and they said, something's wrong in your balance sheet. We said, what? They said that the number of zeros are too many. I said, it's audited balance sheet, right? You got, and we never failed in last 42 years paying interest to a bank, not a single day delay. And they were asking us, what is wrong with you? Okay, the wrong with us, we always hire professionals who are actually professional, who understand. If we hire an accountant, he knows accounts. If we hire a person who's actually marketing person, okay. So when the one takeaway from you is, I can guarantee you before you leave this place and anyone asks you what is the branding, I think you'll be able to teach that person. Maybe he's a professor of MBA college or he's a chairman of the company. I think you'll be better equipped to answer him in the layman terms, professional terms, in detail what branding is all about. Can you start? So I was a student of, I love history and I love geography. In geography, I was told that when universe started, there was an ice age, right? We all know. Then, if you go to that, there was a stone age. Okay. Now I call it as a McDonald age, right? Isn't it? They have 9,000 stores across the world. What they make? A pie, a chicken, and a bun. And people queue up and they buy this all over the world. They pay premium on this one. That's what gentlemen call it a branding. But again, it's not clear what branding is all about. So if you go about it, what is a brand? If you go just for definition purpose, is a noun, branding, and it's about emotional and psychological relationship that you have with your customers. And it's also about product manufactured by British company under the particular name. Next. But again, it's a gyan. I don't like these definitions, you can't remember it, you can't recall it, you can't explain it. So if you go for it, this is a brand. Now, what the hell is this? These people, I think all of you know this, right? Apple. What they do? They don't manufacture anything. The product is manufactured in China. Okay? They don't manufacture anything. Coca-Cola, right? Every year, I don't know whether you are not, when I was in US for almost, I worked as a president of Walmart in East Coast. I don't know how many of you know, every year in April, we used to do blind test. We used to give almost 3,000 people a Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola in a plain white cup. And we used to say, please tell us which one is better. 62% people used to pick up Pepsi Cola without knowing they didn't Pepsi. And what they buy? Coca-Cola. They like Pepsi and they buy Coke. That's what the branding is all about. You look at Google, and forget about Google now, it's an old story. Look at WhatsApp. Half of the globe is on this tool. Have you ever seen advertisement of WhatsApp? Okay. You can't sell a product in this country or any country or in a village without advertising it. But all of us, I think 90% of us on WhatsApp now. Are we or what? We are not. That's what the branding is all about. Starbucks, they have a very simple formula in the US. Before you lose one brand name, of you sing Starbucks and you take a turn, you should see another Starbucks. That's a simple formula. You should never lose the eyesight of customer. In the entire US, you see one, then you see second, and you see third, and what exactly they do? A simple coffee, right? Nothing else. But people pay 35% more in the United States of America to drink coffee at Starbucks. Next. So what is it? It's why we do that? When we buy Apple, we want to be distinct. We want to be different. Differentiation, we all are from business, right? If you don't differentiate, you die. Okay? You are commodity if you are not a brand. You are nobody, right? We want to stand out. You imagine, I'm saying, if any one of you have a picture of a wedding or party or the photograph of group at the beach, and someone bring a printout to you or they give an apple to you, what you do? You see first, you locate yourself in the picture. All this, human psychology, right? Even the 500 people are along with you, you see where am I, how I look. Okay, that's what the branding is about. In USA, there are 200 cars. They all do one thing. They go from point 1 to point 2. Everyone still go for branded cars. If there are 30 people in this room and I ask which soap you use, okay, someone may say Lux, Dove, different soap. Now what is purpose? Hygiene. Then why do we buy different soap? Okay. Next. People see, when we wake up in the morning, we pick up a toothpaste, right? Colgate, Pepsi, whatever. And night we go and sleep looking at all the brands, newspaper ad, the t-shirt, the night suit, whatever. We see 15,000 brand every day. Okay? 15,000 brand. At Quality Group, people ask us that why people buy your product. They buy because we differentiate. We stand out. We have one of our company called Purple Cow. The people say, why you put up a name of Purple Cow? I was driving from London to countryside of my home, and I was looking at the cows on side, white cow, red cow, and I was looking at my Morogoro and this side. I said, how come these cows are so beautiful, so healthy, neat and clean, skin shining, right? But after 2 hours of drive, I started getting bored. The same white, brown, black cows. And then I thought, what if there's a purple cow, right? It's worth watching, worth remembering, worth coming and talking. If I say, hey, I seen a purple cow, you say, oh, what? What purple cow? Let's discuss it. So we named our agency called Purple Cow. So people can talk about it, people can remember it, people can differentiate it. And that's what the branding is all about. Okay, next. So branding is basically how we present ourselves in business, among friends, and also personal. There are 2 million business graduates come out from college every year for MBA colleges, but only 5% of them become a CEO. Same education, same faculty, same curriculum. Okay, or almost 20% of them same grade, but out of them only 5% become the top leaders. Now, why they do that? Because again, they differentiate the way they present themselves. Okay, I could have come and say, hey, I'm Arif, right? But the way the presentation has been made, you already start having expectation, right? I got your attention when the presentation was made, right? I could have put up a very normal, but I put up a lipstick on the stones, right? It got your attention. So we do for impression. We want people to perceive us what we are, and we use expectation and promises, not funny. So if I make a presentation that I look smart, I'm handsome, right? I should look like a handsome person. Then you show a picture and then you see person, right? If I come in sleeper and night suit, and you see this one, will you believe me? You say, no, there's someone else is trying to impose. He's the imposter. In our company, when you come, in all 92 offices of our group, you will not see diary, pen, calendar of any other company. We don't allow that. We don't expect the Eid gift, we don't expect Christmas gift, nothing, not allowed. This company can afford. And that is our value system, and then we differentiate. Okay? Next. So we say, if we say we believe in value, we believe in integrity. Now, integrity and honesty in branding is very important. Honesty is when people are watching you and you're honest, is honesty. When no one is watching you and you're honest, is integrity. And that's what the brand is all about. Next. So when anyone asks you professionally what is it branding? Branding is 50% here and 50% here. How I look in this jeans, how much is going to cost me? 50% here, 50% here. So what it says about me, how I look in, how it makes me feel, how it performs, how much it costs. So you need to own a place between the mind and the heart both, and then it's a branding. So suppose if you create a brand which is very cheap, in US they used to call it that if you want to be successful in business, you need to have EST, cheapest, fastest, newest, tallest, okay, fast, anything EST, you can sell. But many companies against Walmart failed. Kmart came and they were cheaper than Walmart. They failed. So you also need to have a positioning in the heart of the people. Sometimes I can't afford. You are one of the best trainer in the country, right? In sales. In sales, they say the selling formula. Anyone you want to buy, P is equal to A plus F into E square. Affordability, right? Features and emotion. But emotion I say square. I can't afford these jeans, but I'm going to borrow back because I want to look good. Emotions overplay the reasoning, rationals, affordability and feature. Okay? The ladies buy discounted nail polish. They will not buy discounted lipstick. right? Rational emotions. Okay. So next. So this one, if you have a brand, people wait for you in a line. They will pay premium. They will show loyalty. They will return for additional product. You keep updating. You have an iPhone 5, then 6, then 7, and 8, and you keep buying. Okay. Use word of mouth to expand your brand. Most important tool. Next. Now, my question is, if anyone comes to you, if you go to your finance manager and say, I want to go branding, and he understands only one thing, currency. He said that, please tell me what I'm going to get. Now, you're not giving him a sale. You need to convince, you need to go to a chairman and say, I want to do branding for personal or for company or for product. What rationale you're going to give so he accept? Now, you look at the Pepsi. Pepsi is better test, but people buy Coke. This is the advantage of branding. It gives you preference over your competition. It overcomes your weakness, and still you are preferred. So there is one advantage you can give your finance side. Emotions. Disney, as I said. As soon as Disney comes, we know it's a kids movie. It's a very clean, healthy entertainment. So it creates the expectations. Okay. When it comes, other person may make a beautiful movie better than this one. But when Disney comes, you have a fan following. People will go. The segment will go and watch the movie. You have people like you talk about the Johnson and you talk about the Bolt, Usain Bolt, right? As soon as the Usain Bolt comes, what? Speed, right? Choices. If you go to supermarket, you see choice of the toothpaste. You see 200 toothpaste. You see 500 of soaps. Next. Okay. It lends status. Mercedes. You know, when I went to US on a scholarship, I never had a bicycle. So my father asked me that, what are you going to do? Why don't you buy a motorbike? I said, no, I'm going to buy a Mercedes. Okay. Always aspire to. I come from a very small village. So I said, my first car is going to be Mercedes. So one day I got money, I went and bought a Mercedes. And I got a shock of my life because the Mercedes looks very plain inside. And I said, what the hell is this? When I see my wife buying a Lexus, which is a very sexy car. So I said, can we swap the car? She said, no. You know. Now, what I bought is that star outside the car, bonnet. Seriously, I paid premium $30,000 for that star. Now I'm not going to sit on that star. I'm not going to carry. But when I arrive, the people say, oh God. Because of the Mercedes, they assume me. So when I go on the hotel and come out from Mercedes, they receive me properly. Okay? When I go on a Fiat or other car, okay, I do take a okay, that's what the brand is all about. Okay? So BMW, right? It built nation. I don't know how many of you know, before Samsung arrived, the Korea was on bankruptcy. The World Bank refused to fund them. They had a major disaster, economy gone bad, everything, and all of a sudden Samsung happened to the country. And look what Samsung did to the country. Today they are one of the biggest economic power in Southeast Asia. The one brand changed the whole economy, all country. Right? Next. BMW is a beautiful brand. You know, I used to represent Mercedes in the Middle East, and BMW was my competition. And today's word, what I've seen in Tanzania, I was talking to my friend, that someone asked me in Stand Chart Bank, I was speaking to 52 country managers that, you know, I'm considered more Tanzanian than anything else. So they were all Europeans in that room. And they said, can you please advise us how we get adjust in Tanzania? How to get successful in Tanzania? So I was having a coffee. So I said, if you want to be successful in Tanzania or Africa, you need to know how to drink coffee. He said, what? I said, yes, because we are Africans, right? We are about relationship, we are not about transactionship. If you come here and start talking about money and this, then we don't believe you. We work from here more from here, right? That's what we are. And as a second thing, when you land at the airport, being a Britisher or American, you don't start thinking that you're going to come and teach us. Because whenever you come at the airport, you say, oh, these guys don't know anything. They live in the caves. What kind of country? And they're going to teach them how to do this. I said, don't do that. Look at outside, the roads, the airport, whatever. We did all this with all the hardship, all the limitations. If you give us America and London, we can convert into a city of gold. That kind of skill set we have, right? So that's what the branding is all about. Okay? We talk about the brand. When you look at the whole presentation of mine or yourself, by just saying that I'm a brand, it won't work. How you package it. Okay? So Disney live up to it. Their packaging, their poster, their stars, everything match. Now Disney cannot have Sylvester Stallone in the machine gun in Disney, right? Disney need Mickey Mouse. Okay? Disney doesn't have a Mickey and Minnie killing each other at the end of the movie. They can't, right? They need to kiss and make up at each other. They fight. So Goofy looks like Goofy. And that's what the branding is all about. I think if you go to the Disneyland, one of the amazing thing is never in history of 72 years anyone has seen the real face of Goofy or Mickey or Minnie. They always go inside this room and then take out their mask in Disneyland because they live up to the branding, the image. So kids actually believe there's a when the parade takes place every day in England. So this all thing, your reputation. So when people talk about quality plaza, quality group, the people talk about what kind of people we have, what kind of signages we have, what kind of PR we have, what kind of promotions we have. Now, Mercedes, if I'm giving advertisement, now BMW, the beautiful part was we give an advertisement that how good our car is. So we showed South Africa. In Cape Town, we showed our Mercedes going in Cape Town on a different road. That was my commercial. And by mistake, there was an accident by someone, and Mercedes gone and talked. So we shot that script that Mercedes fall from 300 meters and people saved. And they said BMW in 72 hours show on the same road, exactly same place start, and they show our car doesn't fall. Okay, we are better than Mercedes. That's what the branding is all about, right? Yes. So the most important part is either we decide what we are, or the people are going to decide who we are. And the second position is very, very difficult. So when you are in personally, when you're going to the company as an employee, as an employer, or in a market as a salespeople, you need to be very clear that how you are positioning yourself. If you decide that how I'm going to be perceived, you will be the winner. If you allow other people to be perceived the way they want, you are loser. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Any question? I have 2 minutes left, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Anything? Anyone?
That's personal branding finishing perfectly on time.
Thank you. Time is resource, right? I always tell my people that it is not about resource, it's about resourcefulness which matters in the life, right? Because people always say, once I have this and I have that, then I'm going to win the war. No, it is not.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Quality Group has done very, very well.
Yeah.
There's lots of companies out there that are focused on differentiating themselves, deciding what values they want to convey, yet they've not had the same level of success that Quality Group has had. So from a marketing level perspective, what is it that separates a great company that has a great brand that people are envious of compared to a brand that's putting in the money, putting in the effort, but not getting the results?
The problem is, see, the chairman of the company or group CEO doesn't go to the market. Normally, we sit down in the boardroom and the strategy room, and we have beautiful strategy on paper and presentation on PPT. Now, the problem is, the people who take this strategy to the market is the sales people, like marketing people. Now, before you go and communicate to your customer, you need to communicate to your own staff. You need to be on the same page, okay, with your customer. Now, look at my supermarket. Now, we talk about the quality and strategy and why we are better. Supermarket, we sell sugar is a sugar, right? Tea is a tea and coffee is a coffee. When you go to my supermarket, first of all, there are people standing outside the cash counters. If there's an old lady or any person, they say, ma'am, can I take your bag and drop you at your car? No one does it. Who pays for it? When you're standing in the queue, the person will come and say, wish list. We have wish list. Ma'am, do you have any wish list that the product you wanted to buy is not available here? Okay? We use, you talk about branding, why we are different. We even calculated that the highest number of people affected in Tanzania is by diabetes, and diabetes affects the retina. Retina means they can't read small fonts. So all our signages prices are font 14 plus. So even when you go to shopping, you don't carry your reading glass, and you feel very awkward that I can't read. Now you can't go to movie and other places and you want to have reading glasses, and that's what differentiates. Before you go to the market and start talking to people what you are, you need to talk to your own team, and they need to believe what they believe. My problem is, I give an example why it happens. 1942, right? There's a gentleman called Martin Luther King in Washington in a peak summer. He's talking. That time there was no WhatsApp, no Google, nothing. Okay, and there are 200,000 people get at that location without any advertisement, and they want to listen to this guy who's talking. I believe. Okay, now what do you believe? There were more people who suffered more than Dr. Martin Luther King, right? He was not only black person there. He was not only person who suffered. But why 200,000 people standing there in the summer and listening to him? Because he was speaking what they want to hear. They were there not for Dr. Martin Luther King, but they were there for themselves. And that's what the marketing is all about. That's what differentiates. If your people working for you believe what you believe, they will go and put up your life. So if you have salespeople whom you can't trust, because trust is either 0 or 100. If you say, I trust my salespeople, but or if your trust is 0, and they don't trust you, 0. So when they go to the market, they need to put their heart and soul in the product, and it reflects. They should hold their head high when they talk about their product. They should not be defensive. They should not be apologetic when they talk about product, and that's makes the difference. That's what the party group is all about.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Wow. I think now it's about time we all go and find our purple cow, right?
Yes,
our own purple cow. So our next speaker, it's a woman, it's a young lady. She's right there. She's a Malt Award-winning speaker, a change agent. She believes in change. And currently she is the Young Woman Ambassador Representative for Tanzania in the United States. Please help me to welcome Ms. Very Nice Fernandez.
Welcome. Did you guys enjoy your session today earlier? I believe you are blessed with Mr. Arif. I was also blessed, and I'm sure you're going to be blessed even more with all our speakers that we have lined up today. Okay, so here, before I get started, I just wanted to share with you a little bit about myself and why I'm here. So I am a current National Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Lifetime member of the Honor Society, which means I graduated and my master's with straight A's at the top of the class, of the top of the university. And I was the only Tanzanian representative and the only African representative. So this is the highest honor you can achieve in the world in business as a business scholar. So I'm passionate about business, and I'm here to help people thrive in business and in their personal lives. The industries that I've worked in are finance, media, and consulting. I have my Master's of Science in International Business. I have my MBA in Entrepreneurship and Consulting, and I'm here to help you win. And I'm here to specifically talk about personal branding. So before we get started, here's a slight overview of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about branding, we're going to talk about discovering yourself, and we're also going to talk about your value statement. Before we go on, Dale Carnegie once said that people are not interested in you, they're interested in themselves, which is very true. So I want to ask you a question, and I would like you to ask your neighbors. Ask your neighbor, what brought you here today? Could I have somebody share what your neighbor said? Yes?
He said himself.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else? Yeah.
She said she came to learn.
Yes, thank you so much. So as you can see, most of the people, the reason why they came is because they came for themselves. They came so that they could get educated, that they could be empowered, that they could learn how to discover themselves and how to build their own personal brand, which is excellent. It's excellent that you are spending time learning and investing in yourself. Education never stops, and you should always be investing in yourself. I was taught by the CEO of Nestle for my brand management class, and he gave us a lot of words of advice. And one of the advice he gave us was, always spend 85% of your time doing what you need to do in your career or at home or whatever volunteer community service that you're in. Use 85% of your time to do that with diligence. But 15% of your time, use it to invest in yourself. Learn something new, try something out, invest in yourself, because that's the only way you're going to become better for yourself and for the world. And he said the cream always rises to the top. And it's very true, the way he gave his story on how he became the CEO of Nestle, the world's largest marketing, branding, and food company in the world, Nestle. So let's go into the first part of what I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to talk to you about branding yourself, the brand of you. A lot of times we don't really discover, or we never really think about what's our personal brand. Has any of you ever thought about what's your personal brand? Have any of you ever thought about that? Have any of you ever written down your personal brand? I don't see anybody. Okay, well, today you're going to learn, and for me, whenever I teach, I make sure that you learn and you put into action what you learned. And so you're going to write and discover what is your personal brand. And it has to be consistent because you are unique, and there's no other you in this world out there. There's no other you. There's nobody that can be you. You're unique and you're created for a purpose. So investors, they invest in people. They don't invest in things. It's all about relationship. If you don't have a relationship with somebody, do you think you're going to be able to sell them something or close the deal? You're more likely to buy from somebody that you know or you trust because you know them, you know their personal brand. Or another example, if you were to come and present a pitch of a new company that you wanted to start in Dar es Salaam. So you wanted to start a new company to solve the cleanliness of the environment, and there was a bunch of judges here seated. And say you had a really great idea, a really great solution, but you as a pitcher, you weren't confident. You didn't really have the competencies, you didn't really have the skills or expertise. Do you think the investor would invest in you, in your idea? Do you think so? No? Well, what if there was another team? So there are two teams that come up with a cleanliness solution for Dar es Salaam. One team, they're really bright, they're great, they have passion, they have energy, they really want to solve the problem, they have skills, but maybe their solution isn't the greatest, but even with a little bit of brushing up or advising, they can become the best team and deliver the best solution. Well, as an investor, who would you invest in? Would you invest into the team that is really bright and has a lot of great skills and background and has potential with a mediocre idea? Or would you invest in the people that don't really have the greatest background, but they have a great idea? Who would you invest in?
The mediocre idea.
You'd invest in the mediocre idea. Why?
Because I think with the right attitude and the readiness to do things, they can learn everything.
Okay, that's good. Somebody else? Okay, so for me as an investor, I would invest in the mediocre idea because the people that are bringing the idea, they have the skills, they have the energy, they have the passion, they have the potential to make it great. And with a little bit of coaching, they can excel and succeed really well. And that's what investors are looking at. When they're looking at investing into something, or if somebody is looking into buying something, or say you were a banker, they're looking at who you are and what is your brand. Can they trust you? And so you need to really become more self-aware with yourself. Am I trustworthy? What do people see in me? Because every single day, you're reflecting your brand. How you send an SMS, how you talk on the phone, how you write an email. If you write an email really professionally, like dear so-and-so, or if you just say hi, there's a difference. Your brand is constantly being evaluated on a day-to-day basis. The way you dress, the way you speak, your attitude, your demeanor. So in order for you to really succeed in your personal brand, you need to build a recognizable identity and highlight your uniqueness. What's your unique selling proposition? What makes you as you unique? What makes you stand out? What do people like about you? For me, I'm a fan of feedback. I love feedback. I'm constantly asking my friends, my colleagues, my family members, my old professors, my old classmates, hey, could you please give me some feedback? What is my brand to you? You know, I'm constantly asking them because I want to know if I'm being consistent in who I am and in what I deliver. And feedback is great because that's the only way that I can grow. And so feedback is really important to really recognize, oh, this is my strength. I do this really well. I'm a really great writer, or I'm a really great artist, or I'm really good at singing, or I'm really good with numbers. What is something that's unique about you? And conquer it, dominate in that field. So another thing is when you're looking at your brand, highlight the benefits and the positive consequences. Why should people trust you? Why should people talk to you? Why should the deal come from you instead of your fellow colleague or somebody else? And as a personal brand, you represent your company. But you're not only limited to your company. A lot of times people just think of themselves as, oh, I'm just an employee. But you need to stop thinking I'm just an employee. You're not just the title of your position. You are more than the title of your position. What do you have to offer beyond? And you need to be telling your managers, you need to be telling your colleagues, this is my value. A lot of times we don't speak about our value. We just like, oh, okay, I have a job, okay, let me perform what I've done and then let me go home. That's it. But you really need to be communicating what is it about me? There's a reason that they hired me to fulfill a solution. A lot of times when companies hire people, they're looking for a gap. There's a problem, there's a shortage, they're looking for somebody to fill a solution. A lot of managers, when you hire somebody, you're looking for somebody to solve your problem, somebody who can think better than you, who is more analytical than you, that's smarter than you. That's what they're looking for. And so you need to be finding out and figuring out what's unique about you and focus on that. This is what's unique about me, and I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to continue to develop it. And this is my identity. So if anytime somebody needs something, they're like, oh, let's go to Akash because his brand, he's a world-renowned speaker. Let's go to him. So he has established his brand. And everybody has a brand in here. Oh, go back up. Go back one. No, back. Back. Okay. The final thing is I want to highlight, you need to be remarkable. If you're not remarkable, you're going to be invisible. It's either you're remarkable or you're invisible. How many of you want to be remarkable? How many of you want to be invisible? Nobody wants to be invisible. You have to be remarkable. Even the way you dress has to be remarkable. And nobody else is you, and that is your power. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for her. Do you have any questions? Any questions, please? Okay. Yeah, that's it. Now the next speaker is a Mikono speakers. One of the best we have in our team, Mr. Akash Karia. He has been training with Mikono speakers for more than 2 years, right? He has been a speaker around the world, and there's quite a lot of materials outside about him and what he does, and he'll be training people on Monday, right? On public speaking course, the one I've been telling you people to sign up for. So please welcome Mr. Akash Karia.
Thank you very much.
The handsome speaker.
Yeah, you forgot the most important part. So, first things first, 30 minutes, I'd like to make some value adding to you, and I'd like to make this a little bit fun, okay? Now, a friend of mine called Marcel says that there is no direct connection between your brain and your ass. So, if you're sitting here for 30 minutes, Most of the information is going into one ear and out of the other. So here's what we're going to do. Everyone stand up. And you're going to get into groups of 5. So 30 seconds, get into a group of 5. Go, 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 go. Group of 5, go. Yeah, some of you are holding hands. That's a whole different workshop. Everyone got a group of 5? Say, oh yes. Oh, yes. Oh, come on, some energy in here. Say, oh yes. Oh, yes. Beautiful. Now, in this group of 5, here's what you're going to do. Take 30 seconds only. Everyone in this group of 5, introduce yourself in 30 seconds. Hey, my name is Akash, and I am a banker, and I'm very handsome and very sexy. Next person. 30 seconds. Go, 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 go. Group. 1, 2, 3, point. Fantastic. Take a seat, take a seat, take a seat. So, who was chosen as a leader? Hands up, raise your hands. What made these people be pointed out specifically as leaders? Raise your, stand up. We'd love to see you. Stand up. Wow. Interesting group. Interesting group. So, these 5 individuals were pointed out as leaders. What specifically about them made you want to point at them? Notice how there's so many of us in this room, yet we were able to define leadership quality within 30 seconds.
Let them come in front.
Let them come in front. Sexy people, come out in front. Here we go. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, so you can sit out of this one. You're very handsome. You're too handsome for this exercise. Now, I want you to go ahead, shake hands, and introduce yourself right now. Go. Shake hands with him. No, just shake hands, shake hands, shake hands. No, just with him, with her. All right, stop. Keep shaking hands. All right, stop. No. I want you to shake their hand and stop. That's it. Hold that in position. So shake the hand. Yeah, shake his hand. Shake her hand. Fantastic. Person next to you, shake each other's hand and just hold it in a position. Do you want to know who is the more dominant person in this relationship right now? How can you tell? Who is the more authoritative, dominant, leadership-oriented person in this relationship right now? How can you tell? What about that?
The hand.
Yeah, so what about the hand? Firm handshake, what else? You said he's very sexy? Whole different type of personal branding. So someone said firmness of the grip, correct? Say yes, say no. Yes, very wrong, but very good. Here's how you tell. According to research, the person with the hand on top is the person who is dominating that relationship. So have a look right now. Have a look right now. Who is the one dominating that relationship? Now, you can let go of each other's hands. I can see that guys there like just holding hands, just not letting go. Second thing, the person with the hand underneath. You have a very submissive handshake. When you give your hand out like this, and the other person takes it on top, they are saying, I am dominant, I am submissive. Do you know if you give your hand to a dog like this, it will look for food. You give it like this, it's going to bite you. What was Hitler's salute? Was it this? It was this. I am dominant, I am the forceful nature in this relationship. So, first things first, what this shows you is within 30 seconds, we're able to identify leadership characteristics, even though we've not talked so much. We haven't even looked at their capabilities, at their CV, at their experience, but we can say, you're a leader, you're a leader, you're a leader. So, how do you change that within yourself? In the next 30 minutes, I am going to show you those unconscious things, those unconscious patterns that we have that can identify your brand to be what you want it to be. Does that make sense? Say, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
All right, take a seat.
Thank you.
Now, I need a victim. Who wants to be my first volunteer? Raise your hand. Okay, who wants to be my second volunteer? Give him a round of applause. Come on up. Come on up. So, I'm going to put you in the hot seat. Is that okay? Here's what's going to happen. I want you to take about 1 minute and tell us, do you work for a company? Do you own a business? What do you do?
I own a business.
You own a business. 1 minute, promote your business. When I say go, ready, set, go.
My name is Ambrose Nshala. I own a business called Tabasam Insurance Brokers Limited. It's an insurance brokerage company. What do? We sell insurance cover from different insurance companies in Tanzania and around the world. So if you need insurance cover for your car, your house, for your
Fantastic. I'm going to stop you there. First, does he seem like a leader? Yes, no? Say yes or no? Yes. Okay. What about him seems leadership quality like? Apart from his gorgeous good looks. His what? What about his confidence? How can you tell he's confident? Non-verbal cues. What specifically? Do you know that blind people use gestures? Why? I'll give you 30 seconds. Turn to the person next to you. Why do you think blind people who cannot see, who have never seen a gesture before, and who have no need to gesture because they cannot see, use gestures? 30 seconds, talk to the person next to you. Go. Person who uses the gestures the most, who has the most enthusiasm in speaking, is the person who's seen as most passionate, who's seen as confident, who's seen as a person who believes in what they're saying. So, here's tip number 1. You want to grow your personal brand? Start by becoming a better version of you. Have you heard that advice if you've ever gone on a date that says, just be you? Yeah? Just be you. Go to the interview and just be you. I know some people who should not be themselves. Be the best version of you that you can be. And that first starts with, number 1, the handshake is just a small part of it. You don't want a dominant handshake. You don't want a submissive handshake. You want a neutral handshake. But you know if someone comes in with a dominant handshake, they want to dominate that relationship. And if you let them, they will. So, there's a very interesting video about George Bush. George Bush, Tony Blair. One of the presidents comes in and does this. What do you think the other guy does? No, you can't do that. Presidents, have some dignity. Yes, go ahead. Do this? No, they go ahead and so he's got it on top, puts the other hand on top. Now, what do you think he does? There we go. This is on video, by the way. So there we go, and now he does this. Presidents are taught this because unconsciously, when we look at a photograph, we're able to tell, you know what? George Bush was really the more confident person. He really got the best out of this relationship with the US. Or Tony Blair got the best version just because of the handshake. So that's number 1. Pay attention to your handshake. Number 2, your hand gestures. It is very difficult for you to talk without using your hands. Research shows the more you move your hands, the easier it becomes for you to think. The faster your brain works because there's a very direct link between hand movements and your brain function. So you're stuck about what to say, you're at an interview or a public presentation, start moving your hands. Number 3, I will teach you how to be smarter. 30 seconds, I will teach you how to grow your intelligence levels without a degree, without any information, without reading any books. Does that sound good? Say, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, cool. Here's what happens. He is a professor at Cornell University, okay? Prestigious university. He has been teaching the same exact course for 10 years. Same exact course for 10 years. Now, at this university, there's 2 semesters. Semester 1, where you have a batch of students. Semester 2, where you have another batch of students. So let's split the line right down here, okay? So you go on this side. Now, you guys come for the class in the first semester. You guys come in the second semester. The professor has decided he's going to conduct an experiment, which is very simple. He's going to record all of his lectures, write them out word for word, and memorize each and every single word, including how long he pauses between each sentence. Memorizes everything, all the lectures. Semester 1 delivers that lecture, right? The way he normally would. Semester 2, he delivers the exact same words, the exact same pauses, the exact same way. There's absolutely no difference, except for in semester 1, he does something, and we're going to play hangman. Here we go. I don't know why you're still standing here, but I like you, so stand. No. You look good.
Thank you.
Take a guess what this word is. Guess a letter. Go. A. Take another guess. E. Take another guess. Wow, you guys are good. Take another guess. Nope. Take another guess. Keep guessing. E already there. D, no. N. G. D. L. Okay, I spelled it wrong, so you can't guess it. He decides in semester 2, exact same lecture, exact same content, all the same words, exact same pauses, but he's going to deliver it with enthusiasm. That's it. Now that means he's going to have a bit more hand gestures, and his voice is going to be slightly louder, and he's going to make a conscious decision to be a bit more energetic. That is it, right? End of the 2 semesters. You guys are asked, how much did you enjoy the course? First one, without enthusiasm, right? Some people enjoyed it on a scale of 0 to 10. Let's give him a 7, okay? 7 out of 10. Semester 2, with a bit more enthusiasm. How much did you enjoy this course? More or less? Shout it out, more or less? More, okay. Makes sense. He was more enthusiastic, more energy, makes complete sense. Next question. No, you're not going yet. You're standing here 30 minutes. Next question. You're asked, how intelligent do you think the professor is? On a scale of 0 to 10, people say 6. Second semester, how intelligent do you think the professor is? Do you think there was a difference? Yeah. No, come on, of course not. Exact same lecture, exact same words, made sure everything was exactly the same. He gave the exact same content. How can he be more intelligent in the second semester? How? So, doesn't make you more intelligent.
You know, it shows the energy in you.
Doesn't make you more intelligent.
Experience.
Doesn't make you more intelligent. So what? Why does that make him more intelligent? That makes him entertaining. You're right. You know the reason I asked the question is because it must be yes. Otherwise, I would not ask it. Turns out, when people are more enthusiastic in the way they talk, he was rated as being 20% more intelligent because he was more enthusiastic. Now you can take a seat. Give him a round of applause. No, actually, you know what? Come on. So, couple of lessons. First, handshake. Second, gestures. Number 3 is what? What's number 3? Oh, yeah, enthusiasm. What is it? Enthusiasm. Much better. My God, you guys are difficult work. So, you're going to do this again. Okay. This time round, I want you to make sure that you have more energy in how you're saying it. Continue the gestures, but enthusiasm levels on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is the most enthusiastic, 0 is completely boring. The first time round, how enthusiastic do you think you were?
6.
6. This time round, I want you to do it at an 8. Is that okay? All right, give them a round of applause.
All right, guys, my name is Andrew Shala, the owner and founder of Tabasamu Insurance Brokers Limited. What I do, I sell insurance covers. So whether you have a car, a house, a property, all you are doing, you have your own office. You need to come in so that I can sell you insurance. Because insurance is very important for life. Insurance is very important for your security. You know, in this world, if you are not insured, you are not sure for your future.
Fantastic. Give him a round of applause. Isn't that better in 30 seconds? Now, take a seat. Next thing, everyone stand back up, stand back up. How much time do I have? None. Okay, 2 minutes. Now, shake each other's hand again, but then stop. So shake each other's hand again and stop. I will show you something that if I show it to you, you will realize it's such a remarkable insight, but you will hate me for the rest of your life. This has always happened. I teach it, people say, oh my God, I never realized. And then they email me 2 weeks later, Akash, I hate you, I've not been able to stop looking for this sign. So, do you want me to teach it to you? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm telling you, you will hate me. Here, how do you know someone is interested in talking to you? What do you look at? Eyes. What about eyes?
Facial expressions.
Facial expressions. What about eyes and facial expressions? What do liars do? Do they make eye contact or do they drop eye contact? Wrong. Liars make more eye contact than truthful people. Research shows liars make more eye contact than everyone else. Do you know why? Because liars are very good and they know that they expect you to break eye contact. So therefore, they will make more eye contact. Reverse psychology, very good. Now, here's how you tell whether someone's interested in talking to you or not. So come on up. Yeah. You look for this in clusters. The first thing is you look at their feet. Okay? Now, if you have 2 people, quick tip for when you approach people at a social relationship, networking event, never go up to them directly this way because it feels like you're threatening their space. So you come from a 45-degree angle. The reason being, you're slightly pointed towards them, but you're allowing for an exit so they do not feel like you're threatening them. But here's how you tell if they're interested in you. When they're facing you, right, either 45-degree angle or completely, if one foot is pointed away, this way, usually at the exit, that says, I really want to run out of here. I do not like you. Or it says, I have to go somewhere, I'm busy, and this is what I've usually found. The second sign you look for is this, right? So hands are crossed, very defensive, 1 foot pointed away, right? And then they look like they're not paying attention. You look for all these things, 100% they don't like you. Now, here's what I do. When I'm talking to someone in a social situation, I realize the way they put this is generally when I'm talking about myself. So I do this. I say, tell me about you, or tell me about what happened here, or did you watch the game last night? Stop talking about myself, ask them something about them, and it's always so fun. We're out of time, but here's what I want you to do. We just had 30 minutes and it's flown by. Turn to the person next to you, 30 seconds, discuss. What is the number 1 lesson that you learned today from all the workshops that we had, and what is the number 1 thing that you are going to do differently? 30 seconds, share with the person next to you, go. Just one thing, just one thing, just one thing. Fantastic. Do you have it? Say, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You're going to be in my YouTube video, okay? I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You respond back with enthusiasm. Is that okay? Say, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Sounds good. So I am here at this Mikono Speakers Cup of Coffee event, where we just talked about with 4 fabulous speakers about the power of personal branding. Now, when I shout out, what is the number one thing that you're going to do differently? All of you shout it out at the same time. The number one thing that you are going to do differently. Does that make sense? Say, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
All right, what is the number one thing that you are going to do differently as a result of this conference? Shout it out.
Be myself.
Oh, come on, shout it out.
Be myself.
Okay, very good. Number 2, was this interesting? If so, say, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Was it interesting and useful, and are you going to apply at least one thing? Say, oh yes.
Oh, yes.
Final and most important question of the day. Was the speaker handsome?
Oh, yes.
Thank you guys, I love you guys, thank you very much.